Your salary will never make you wealthy, not because it is too small, but because of what it is. A salary is a faucet. It only runs while you are standing there, holding it open with your own two hands. The second you stop working, it stops paying. Step away, and the water quits. Wealth is the opposite. Wealth is an engine. You build it once, and it keeps running after you walk away. So the real game was never earning more per hour. It is owning things that pay you when you are not working. Here are 5 of them. And the 5th is the one most people build last, and wish they had built first. Stay for that one. Let me be honest about why this matters. Right now, most people only own the faucet. In the Fed's numbers, about 58% of families owned stock in 2022, directly or through a retirement plan. That means roughly 4 in 10 own none at all. Own it directly, without a retirement plan wrapped around it, and the share drops to about 21%. Most people are living entirely on faucet money. That is not a character flaw. Nobody handed you the blueprint for the engines. School taught you to hold the faucet open and stop there. So let us fix the blueprint. 5 engines, biggest to quietest. Here is number 1. Engine 1. Ownership in businesses. When you own a slice of a company, you own a slice of everything it earns, without ever clocking in. You do not have to found the company. Through a broad index fund, a single basket that holds a tiny piece of thousands of companies at once, you can own a slice of the whole economy in one move. And here is the part almost nobody is told plainly. This is how the wealthy are actually built. The top 10% of households own about 88% of all corporate equity. That is all the publicly traded company stock in the country. Not mansions. Ownership. Why does it work? Because businesses grow. They reinvest, they expand, and your slice grows with them, whether or not you did anything that day. Historically, the U.S. stock market has averaged about 10% a year in total return, dividends included, going back to the 1920s. After inflation, closer to 7%. A dividend, by the way, is just your cut of the profits, paid to you in cash for owning the share, the engine handing a little fuel back. Now the honest catch. That 10% is an average measured across decades, not a promise for any single year. Along the way, the market has fallen 40% or more, several separate times, and stayed down for years. Owning businesses means living through those drops without flinching. That is the whole problem with Engine 1. It works, but it tests your nerve, which is exactly what Engine 2 was built to steady. Engine 2. Real estate. Property you own that can rise in value and, if you rent it out, pay you every month. This is the classic engine, and it is powerful. But almost everyone loves it for the wrong reason. Here is the myth. People think homes make you rich because prices always climb. The data says something much quieter. After inflation, U.S. home prices have risen only about 0.6% a year over the long run. Most of that scary big price gain is just inflation wearing a costume. So if the price barely beats inflation, where does the real wealth come from? 3 places, and none of them is appreciation. 1. Forced savings. A mortgage payment quietly moves money out of your pocket and into something you own every month, whether you feel like it or not. 2. Leverage. With a small down payment and borrowed money, you control the whole property, so even a modest rise works on the full value, not just your slice. 3. Shelter. You have to live somewhere. An asset that also houses you is doing 2 jobs at once. The honest catch is heavy here. Property costs money to own, taxes, repairs, insurance, and it is illiquid, meaning you cannot sell one bedroom in a hurry when you need cash. And prices can fall. In 2008, they fell hard. This is a slow engine that rewards patience, not a lottery ticket. Which brings us to the engine you already own and keep underpricing. Engine 3. And you already own it. It is you. Early on, before you have much invested, your single most valuable asset is your own ability to earn. Economists call it human capital. A skill that reliably earns is an asset you carry everywhere, that no market crash can take, and that can pay you for your entire working life. Put a number on it. Over a full career, the typical American with a bachelor's degree has earned about $2.8 million. With a high school diploma, about $1.6 million. Those are medians, and they vary widely by field, but the shape is clear. Your earning power is likely the biggest number you will ever touch. And here is the move most people miss. Every other engine on this list is fed by this one. Raise what you can earn, and you raise how much you can send into businesses, property, everything else. The skill is the engine that builds the other engines, which is why spending a little to sharpen a skill that pays is one of the highest return things you can do early. You are pouring fuel into the source. The honest catch: skills decay. What earns today can be automated or outdated tomorrow, so this asset only holds its value if you keep reinvesting in it. And unlike a stock, it is tied to your time and your health. So the real goal is to convert some of it into engines that are not. If that one reframe just landed, that you are your own biggest asset, do me a small favor and subscribe. The next two engines are the ones that quietly turn your work into wealth. Here is the first. Engine 4. A business or an income stream that you own. This is the leap from renting your time to owning the machine. Cash flow that is not tied to the hours you personally put in. A product you make once and sell many times. A small operation someone else can run. Content that keeps working after it is published. This is the quiet giant of wealth. Business equity, the value of privately owned companies, has made up roughly a third of all U.S. household assets. The single biggest driver of the whole thing. And it is concentrated. The top 10% own about 88% of private business equity too. Ownership, again, is where the wealth lives. Yet only about 1 in 5 U.S. families owns a private business. Which means this engine sits wide open for the people who decide to build one. Why it compounds. Once the machine runs without you, its income can pour straight into engines 1 and 2, and now 3 separate forces push at the same time. Now the honest catch, and it is a big one. This is not passive. A side business or a rental is lower effort once it is built, but it is real work and real risk to get there, and most take years before they pay a cent. Many never pay at all. Owning the machine is the highest ceiling engine on this list, and the one that asks the most of you up front. So 4 engines, all pushing forward. Which sounds like the finish line. Except the last one will not make you rich, and that is exactly why it matters. Engine 5. Interest and fixed income. Bonds. Cash reserves. A high-yield savings account. A bond is simply a loan you make, to a government or a company, that pays you interest for the privilege. Fixed income just means those payments are steady and known. Let us be clear about its job. This engine is not here to make you rich. It is here to keep you from wrecking the other 4. Over the long run, a 10-year U.S. Treasury has paid around 5% a year, against stocks roughly 9 to 10. As a snapshot in 2026, that 10-year sits near 4.5%, and the best savings accounts pay in a similar range. Lower growth on purpose. What you are buying is stability. A steady, boring layer that does not crash when the stock market does. And here is why people wish they had built it first. When markets fell 40%, the people who panicked and sold locked in the loss. The ones with a cash cushion and steady bonds did not have to sell a thing. Their calm was an asset. Their boring engine protected the exciting ones. The honest catch. Over long stretches, fixed income can barely outrun inflation, so leaning on it too heavily means slow growth. It is ballast, not a sail. Build it last if you must. Just know that this quiet engine is what lets you actually hold the other 4 through the storms. That was the 5th. Now step back and see them together, because the real power is not any one engine. It is that they run at the same time, covering for each other. Businesses grow your money. Property leverages and shelters it. Your skills feed all of it. Your own business multiplies it. And fixed income steadies the whole machine so you never have to sell in a panic. And the order matters. Most people are handed only Engine 1 advice, buy stocks, with none of the stability underneath, so the first crash shakes them right out. You do not need all 5 at once. That is the trap that makes people freeze and do nothing. You need one engine running, then the next, then the next. The point is simply to start owning, instead of only earning. So here is the honest takeaway. Not a directive, just the shape of the game. Look at the 5 and pick the one engine you could realistically start this year. For most people early on, that is Engine 3, sharpening what you already earn, then quietly feeding Engine 1. Not all 5. Not perfectly. Just one engine switched on, so something finally works when you are not. Because that was the whole point. A salary is a faucet. It stops the moment you do. An asset is an engine you build once that keeps running after you walk away. Every one of these 5 is just a different engine, doing that same quiet thing. The wealthy are not working harder faucets. They quietly stopped renting their time and started building engines. So that is the shift. Stop renting your time. Start building engines, even one. If this changed how you see your paycheck, subscribe so the next one finds you. And if you want to know whether that ownership money is ever truly free, watch the one on dividends next, where we ask what that income really costs. See you there.